Alright, so we're live here on YouTube. Alright, it's been a minute, so alright. Here we go. We're live and we're covering the NTT IndyCar series today because NASCAR got rained out at Dover. I won't be able to cover Dover, unfortunately, tomorrow because I have work and it's at noon, which is fun. But yeah, I'll hopefully have a post-race recap, though, of the race, because at least I won't have talked about the race for 5 hours. But yep, so we're live and we're getting ready for a pretty good race here at Barber Motorsports Park. We got a leaderboard up on the side. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a lap count ready in time because it was a pretty short notice kind of thing that we weren't going to have NASCAR today. So, yeah, no NASCAR. So I decided we would do an IndyCar race play-by-play since IndyCar happens to be racing today. So I haven't really gotten a chance to see much of the F1 results, but I'm guessing it was kind of standard because I saw that it was 2 Red Bulls at the front. I just didn't see if it was Perez or if it was Verstappen at the top. And I saw that Alonso came up 4th, which breaks his streak of top 3 of 3rd place finishes specifically to start the season. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. But here we go. They're rolling. Romain Grosjean leading them from the pole position. Alex Palou in 2nd. Pato O'Ward will be rolling off 3rd. 4th will be Scott McLaughlin. 5th, ScottDixon. 6th will be Christian Lundgaard. 7th will be JosefNewgarden. 8th will be Felix Rosenqvist. I'm sure I butchered that, and I apologize if I butcher any of these foreign names. Rinus VeeKay, AlexanderRossi round out the top 10. WillPower, your defending champion, in 11th, driving the number 12. Kyle Kirkwood, last week's winner over in Long Beach, running 12th. Marcus Ericsson, last year's Indy 500 winner, starting 13th. Colton Herta, one of the hottest drivers in IndyCar racing right now, starts 14th. And Callum Ilott for Juncos Hollinger Racing, starting in 15th. So we'll be keeping an eye on those top 15 all day. For the most part, that's about half the field, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, Connor Daly's one I'm looking at outside of that top 15 to potentially move forward. I think I saw Santino Ferrucci as well back there that's going to be interesting. So, yeah, there's definitely some talent down the field, but yeah. So, yeah, this is also a track that I've never really covered or watched much of before. I've watched a couple IndyCar races here, but yeah, I've never, properly covered a race. And actually, let me see if I can get my brightness up, because that is not exact. There we go. That's a little bit better. I will say, though, I have actually driven this track on iRacing, and it is a ton of fun. Let me get a leaderboard up in front of me so I can actually scroll up and down without messing up the screen. So, yeah, so SimonPagenaud, David Malukas, Delvin D. Francesco, Graham Rahal, Connor Daly round out your top 20. Then you have Elio Castroneves, the 4-time Indy 500 winner, starting 21st. Augustine Canapino, starting 22nd. StingRayRobb, one of the coolest names in IndyCar racing, personal opinion, starting 24th. 25th is 24th is Jack Harvey. 25th, Benjamin Peterson. 26th is Marcus Armstrong for Chip Ganassi Racing. And then taking up shotgun on the field is Santino Ferrucci in 27th place. So 27 cars today. That's a lot bigger than I remember most IndyCar fields being. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't have a great lap count. So I'll try and keep you guys updated with the lap count as we go. But yeah, we're here, though, and we're ready. And they're doubled up. Pace car dives for cover as they come through the final set of turns here. And on to the main straightaway, and we're waiting. Green flag is out. Green, green, green. Green flag, and they are off and racing at Barber Motorsports Park. Oh, I did not know. Did not know about the purple, so we'll see if that purple stays. If so, I might try and dial back the color. I did again. I hadn't tried to cover this, so we got Roman Grosjean making contact with a Ward on the start. What? Here we go. That's actually really interesting to see some contact in these open wheel cars. But yep, Pato O'Ward slips back into third place after kind of getting alongside Grosjean for the lead on in the early turns there of the first lap here. But yep, Alex Palou got back through and he is settled out in second place here. But yeah, there we go. Lundgaard. Oh, we got a pass there. That was that Canapino and Malukas? Or is that... No, that's Callum Ilott, I think, and Malukas. I think are those two that are battling for position there. So, here we go. There's a lot of passing for position there. Oh, and there goes Daly jumping in front of somebody. Who was that? Daly just jumped ahead of... Not sure who that is. There's a lot of red and black cars out here. And without a big number plastered on the side like NASCAR, I've had a little tough time because... Again, I don't watch the series. Oh, that's Power and Power is now fighting with Colton Herta, not. And I think maybe it was VK and it was VK. My bad, VK and Lundgaard earlier, not Daly. But yeah, Herta and Power fighting out just outside the top 10 there for position. But yeah, I don't know why the entire thing went purple. But, yeah. So, we'll see again how it goes. And if I end up covering IndyCar in the future, maybe I can do something about it for next time. But, yeah. Here we go. So, Grosjean has kind of settled into the lead. Palou is leveled out in second. ScottDixon in fourth. O'Ward stays third. McLaughlin's lost a spot there on the initial start. So, little bit of up and down here to start, but for the most part, the top three have managed to kind of just hold their own here. Oh, we got Palou going for a move on Grosjean, and they kind of wave the camera. There we go. Back to side by side, wheel to wheel here at the Barber Motorsports Park. There we go. It's gonna take me a bit to get in the rhythm of saying that, but. Grosjean ends up holding off that charge from Palou there. So yeah, right now though they are fighting pretty hard for this lead, and it is not going to be easy to hold off Palou if he's going to keep attempting to pass that aggressively. He won't be able to hang on that easy. By the way, I know I usually do a pre-race pick before they officially throw the green flag. I forgot to do it this week. I'll take O'Ward this week. He's one of my guys I like to cheer for in this series. I'd like to see him do well, and I don't think he's won a race yet this year, so I'd like to see him get one. Oh, and not sure why, but a couple of the names on the list are going gray. But, what happened there? Somebody went through the grass, or through the sand trap there. Not sure what happened. Again, I don't know why those cars are also gray now. For Lundgaard, Kirkwood, Power, and Ericsson. I don't know why their names are in gray on my end. Normally, I would assume that's push to pass if it's a different color, but that's not what's happening. Because none of them have actually used any push to pass yet. At least not that I can see. So, wow. JosefNewgarden's got a really cool paint scheme this week. I hadn't seen that PPG car in what feels like a long time. So, welcome everybody to the live stream. We're covering the IndyCar Grand Prix here. So, Yeah, I can't seem to figure out the pattern to why the colors are changing like that. Not sure if it's maybe they go purple when they haven't officially cleared the. I don't know. It's I don't really know why that because it seems to be coming in a very random order. And it was Rosenquist, by the way, that went through the grass I found or the gravel there. And now he goes by what looks like Benjamin Peterson, if I've got my cars correct. Again, I didn't even know I was going to be streaming this until NASCAR got canceled around noon. So, yeah, here we go. Let's say this battle for the lead, though. Palou is keeping this close, and he is not going to let Grosjean save a ton of fuel if Grosjean wants to lead this race. Also, in terms of tires, you had a bunch of guys start on the red alternate tires versus starting on the black regular tires. You had McLaughlin, Newgarden, and Rossi out of the top 10 that started in the on the black tires. Lundgaard and Power were the other two inside the top 15 that you can see on your screen that are on the black tires. But here we go. They're going to commercial break, it looks like. With Peacock out. Nope, I still get commercials on Peacock. I couldn't remember which payment plan I was on, so yeah. But yeah, so far though, honestly, it's been pretty good for a road course race because I'm so used to NASCAR road course racing. If you get past that first corner, you can usually spread out and it just stalls out quite quickly. But yeah, so how's everybody doing today, though? I guess we can kind of just talk now that we kind of settled in and we got a break from watching the action here. All right, so here we go. Oh, Nolan DeFrancesco's up into that top 15. Kyle Kirkwood in 11th. Just kind of looking through the field, looking to see if I see anybody making any big moves here. But yeah, it looks like just kind of everybody settling in here for now. So yeah, it looks like most of the drivers are kind of settling in about 3/4 of a second between each driver. A little bit more between Palou and Grosjean. A little bit more, a little bit less here and there, but looks like roughly about a 3/4 of a second to a full second between each of the drivers here. All right, so honestly, I'm feeling a lot better than I was the last couple of days because I had a lot of things I was needing to be working on, but I didn't ultimately end up working on them because of it. So, oh yeah, by the way, it's a 90-lap race. We're currently working lap 8, in case you guys didn't know the official race distance for Barber. But yeah. Yeah. So here we go. Again, not really much I can talk about when I can't see the cars on the track, but especially where again the leaderboard only seems to give updates when they actually cross the start finish line, and their only lap times here are about a little over a minute here. So with lap times being a little over a minute, I only get updates about every minute or so. So they're back from commercial break, and we're getting ready for some more action. So yeah, again, I'm really excited, and I've actually really enjoyed watching a lot of IndyCar racing over the last few seasons of IndyCar. I've been watching almost every race since about 2018, yeah, I think 2018 was when I really started watching more than just the Indy 500. But yeah, Barber's always had quite a few good races though. I think I remember the 27. I don't remember if 2017 or 2018 was the massive rain race at Barber, because there was a major rain show at Barber Motorsports Park only a couple years ago for the Indy cars when they came, and that was a one of the better races in recent memory. But yeah, so again, gap's starting to build, and they're starting to talk about fuel window already. So next pit stop projections for essentially the entire field is 27 to is pitting around 27 to 33 on the lap count. So here we go. So, oh, they think the three stoppers are already in the window. That's, I mean, I guess if you're going to stop 3 times, so that would mean you're breaking it up into fourths because you have a full tank to start the run on. You pit, you pit, you pit, and then you run to the checkers. No, that's actually 5 tanks of fuel, I guess. If I'm doing the math right. Maybe I'm way off on the math there. Also, let me see if I can get a lap count, because I do see a lap count now that I can maybe try and screen capture for you guys. So give me a second. And try just shrinking the logo up a little bit here for the IndyCar series. Let's see. Desktop capture. IndyCar race control. So yeah, so I'm using the IndyCar app for the live timing and scoring, in case anyone didn't know how I was able to do that. Oh, uh-oh. I didn't realize that, yeah. There we go. All right, so 3 stoppers are going to be pitting here in about 2 laps. Okay. Trying to get this to actually fit. Close enough. All right, there we go. That looks about good enough. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I just wanted to get you guys a leaderboard or a lap count so that you guys can actually see it and I'm not having to keep updating. They're going back and talking about a contact between Pato O'Ward and ScottDixon from last week, which, yeah, that was just a bad move at a bad spot on the track for Pato O'Ward. He dove it in there really late. Maybe Dixon's spotter would have had time to let him know, but it was a really late move. He did ultimately make it to side by side, but it was a late move and not a lot of time to recover from a late move like that if you aren't expecting the move. But yeah, it looks like we got at least somebody pit because I see a lot of green, which means people moving up the leaderboard. So here we go. So McLaughlin's up to 5th. So just trying to kind of see if there's any notable people at the very back. So nobody in dead last that streaks out. There we go. JosefNewgarden to pit road. So JosefNewgarden in the number 2, he hits pit road. AlexanderRossi in the number 7 hits pit road. So here we go. So sticker alternate tires there for Newgarden. Let's see. StingRayRobb and Felix Rosenqvist are also on pit road. Again, I'm not entirely sure that that's the right pronunciation, and I apologize to anybody who might be just Rosenqvist. Again, if you guys know the pronunciation better than I do, please let me know which one's right, but I'll probably go back and forth between both because I don't really know. But here we go. So Newgarden's back on track. Let's see where he's leveled out in terms of the running order. Is he dead last? So Josef Newgarden is not last so far. He is not. He's settled out in 21st place, along with Rossi, Rosenqvist, who we know have both pit already. So that's 3 cars there that have already pit that are kind of all ready together. StingRayRobb we know is already pit. Who's that? That's Rossi pitting now, they're showing the Rossi pit stop now. Don't know if I thought I saw him pit earlier. Connor Daly as well is pitting. So here we go. So yeah, so a lot of pit stops starting to happen. I guess that means a lot of people trying this 3-stop strategy, which I still haven't exactly done the math for it. But yeah. And I say, roughly, if you're pitting at around 15 laps for a 90-lap race, yeah, I think you'd be doing 5 stints. So yeah. Because you start with a full tank of fuel and you, in theory, would want to end with as close to an empty tank of fuel as pretty much humanly possible. Or at least as far as you could go while being comfortable. So there we go. Scott McLaughlin comes to pit road. So a lot of pit stops. And again, following pit stops is going to be important here for this race because it does not seem like it's going to that's just kind of the way the IndyCar has been. So Power as well came down for a pit stop. So another Penske driver making a pit stop. So that's all the Penske guys hopping onto this 3-stop strategy. And of course, after this, we head to the month of May for the IndyCar. So that'll be an interesting one. Obviously, you got the with Indy 500 qualifying, that's a massive day there for them. So here we go. So again, working lap 16 of 90 here. So it's a long race here, but we're making progress. And actually, if we manage about a minute a lap, a little over, a little under-ish, this race will probably only be about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's actually really good pacing compared to the way the NASCAR races have been this year, where it's been 2.5, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 4. But yeah, it's a pretty good showing though so far from the Indy cars. Noticing a lot of Hondas have yet to pit. The only Chevys really that haven't pit so far are the Juncos Chevys, Pato Award, and then Renus VK. Those are really the only Chevys at all that haven't pit. So here we go. Yeah, let me know who you guys, by the way, are rooting for. I'd love to kind of see where everybody's at in terms of rooting in this race. And potentially, I'm sure a lot of my normal viewers are probably just kind of more watching this because we're bored with no regular racing to do. Because, no NASCAR, but we do have IndyCar going on. So, And of course, with IndyCar being on our road course this week, we don't have to worry about the rain. Although I don't think there's any rain in the Barber or in the Birmingham area. So, yep. So here we go. They're back at commercial break. Again, I'm pretty impressed, honestly, with Roman Grosjean being able to hold on to this lead as well as he has. I'm just going to kind of quickly scroll, see who all has and hasn't pit yet. Seems like a lot of people have yet to pit still. Okay, so yeah, so Elio, Armstrong, and Harvey have also not pit yet at the back. So yeah, again, a lot of Hondas. The only Hondas that have pit so far are Malukas and StingRayRobb, the two Dale Coyne Chevy, or the two Dale Coyne Hondas. So those are the only two that have actually had pit stop so far. And they're doing a driver feature on ScottDixon. Very fair to be doing one on him. One of the winningest drivers in IndyCar history. 6 championships, 4 of which came with Honda. He also runs quite a bit in for the Chip Ganassi. He's driven the Chip Ganassi and other Honda-powered Acura type cars and sports cars too. So, yeah, he's not just an IndyCar guy, but yeah, 6 championships. He is one of the greatest IndyCar drivers of all time. On him. But yeah, Rinus VeeKay. Here we go. They're doing a show on. They're talking about him now. Kind of riding on board. And again, right now we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with these guys at the front of the field because they're trying to do the 2-stop strategy. So if you're going to do the 2-stop strategy, I think you go on to the black tires next. I think you go to the black tires essentially as soon as possible because I don't think you want to be left out on red tires that are going to be a handful to drive for a second stint in a row. Now, if you get a yellow shortly after your pit stop, you'll be a little bit bummed because, again, if you take those black tires, you want to run as far as you possibly can on those because they're the long distance tire. They are built to last longer. You want to make sure that they actually do last. So it sounds like Colton Herta is a little bit worried about being stuck behind Rinus VeeKay here in the battle for 5th here. So potentially that might prompt him to come to pit road here, try and get out of traffic since clean air is a pretty big factor when it comes to IndyCar. You got a lot of turbulence, which causes the cars to push tight. Actually, very similar to NASCAR in that way at a road course where dirty air and where you are in terms of other cars can really affect your car's handling through corners. And there's a lot of corners at Barber. But here we go. Here we go. Oh, man. There we go. So we made it 21 laps so far, and we haven't had a yellow, which is kind of impressive. These IndyCar guys, a lot better at managing a race and keeping it green than the NASCAR guys typically have been doing. All right, let's see what are they calling important numbers? Because again, it's the first time I've actually covered these races, and again, I'm normally kind of watching them back after the fact because they usually double up with the NASCAR stuff. So they said they were going to talk about important numbers, and they showed some they showed the RPMs and stuff, which is definitely an important part of the race car, but they didn't say anything about them. But yeah, so right now though, again, if you're gonna try and do a two-stop strategy, you want to try and get to lap 27 to 33 is what they were showing earlier. Now again, a lot of the Hondas are trying this strategy. I'm curious to see only 4 Chevys. Potentially the Chevy engine maybe not getting the same fuel mileage that the Hondas are. Maybe the Hondas just are better on the fuel mileage game. But obviously, I think Romain Grosjean being out there and leading is going to be hurting his fuel consumption now. So we'll have to wait and see, but certainly looks like it could be a fuel mileage game here early on. But yeah, you've got a lot of these Honda drivers though kind of starting to filter to the front because of the lack of pit stops. Oh, Herta just got passed by Marcus Ericsson there. So he's been passed by Kirkwood and Ericsson in the last couple of laps. So he's losing spots, and that is not good if you're going to try and run a strategy like this. You want to make sure you're keeping track position against the guys who are also on that strategy. Now, if these guys were on a separate strategy, I wouldn't feel as worried about about the fact that he was losing spots to them. But when they're on the same strategy as you got to be able to keep them behind you. So Herta's talking about his red tires being dead, which is not good if you were and so you want to try and make it about another 3-4 laps if you can, But yeah, here we go. Alright, so here we go. And they're going to commercial break, which is fun. Lundgaard actually all the way up to the top 5. So it looks like VK might finally be pitting there in his Chevy. Also looks like Callum Ilott coming to pit road. Graham Rahal coming to pit road. We have a lot of people coming to pit road, and of course they're at commercial break, which is fantastic. I mean, hey, you know what? NASCAR does the same thing, so in terms of comparing them, at least, it seems on brand for auto racing to have your pit stops happen while at commercial breaks. But yeah, it makes sense to take a commercial break here because again, your race leaders will probably go another 5 laps. So you can get in 2-3 minutes of commercials before they come to pit road. Should end up making for a pretty good show here. But yeah, so Newgarden's moving his way back up into that top 15 conversation. And again, only 11 drivers now have not come to pit road officially because they haven't actually shown Herta or VK as actually having been on pit road as opposed to being just slow. Well, there's actually, I guess Newgarden is just passing them on pace potentially. Although I'd find that a little strange that they're dropping that fast just on pace. But here we go. They actually have a pretty good piece on the Porsche 963 there. That was a pretty good commercial, honestly. Like, I'm not normally again, if you guys have watched any of my NASCAR coverages this year, you'd know I'm not a fan of a lot of commercials, but when they're done well, and or if they're very much in the theme of racing, that is amazing kind of partner slash sponsor activation there. So yeah, massive credit to the sponsors that do provide that kind of connection to their teams. All right, so we're again just kind of trying to see where everybody's at here. So yeah, it looks like again I'm expecting. Yep, there we go. Herta is officially on pit road. And they're back from commercial break, which means we'll get a full recap. So again, it looks like we got about 7, 8 cars that have yet to pit. 8 cars. Or at least the top 8 have yet to pit. So, so far in terms of their People Ready Force for Good challenge, which they do throughout the year, which is a $1 million, which is a $1 million prize there. Don't remember. I thought it was $1 million that goes to charity. Maybe it's $1 million to the driver and $1 million like donation to a charity. But yeah. So it's for the first driver to win at all 3 different types of tracks in the IndyCar series. So they've had 1 oval so far at Texas, won by Newgarden, and they've had 2 street courses. But this is the first natural terrain road course that they've had. So. Yeah. Newgarden is cutting through the traffic pretty well. Yeah, he's moving. He's up to 7th now. Here we go. Looks like who was that? I think Marcus Eric. No, not Erickson. Who was that just pit? Let me see. Lundgaard was the one that pit there. So Lundgaard pit, and then you had Colton Herta come in for a pit stop as well. So yeah, that 2-stop strategy is open. Pato O'Ward, ScottDixon, Kyle Kirkwood, SimonPagenaud, Marcus Ericsson, all coming to pit road. A lot of drivers hitting pit road right now. So that pit road is on fire right now. And again, I like that the Ganassi guys are kind of spreading out their hits. That way they aren't all going to get absolutely enveloped the second they all pit. So here we go. So Lundgaard putting on alternate reds there. Let me see, is this... Okay, everything looks to be somewhat up to date. It just seems like everything they're saying is a bit behind where their leaderboard is on their screen and where my leaderboard on my screen is. I just don't know why everything they're covering seems to be behind. But yeah, there we go. VK on pit road as well. And Grosjean and Palou hit pit road now this time by. So here we go. Watching for the blend here between Herta versus Palou and Grosjean here. Or not Palou, whoever that was that he blended in front of. All right, so there we go. Pato O'Ward and Dixon coming into pit road this time on their and Kirkwood too. So again, they seem to be showing everything in a little bit of a weird order here. But here we go. Yeah, it's just kind of a waiting game to see where all those guys are going to end up blending out. Pato O'Ward just cut Dixon off on pit road. That is And David Malukas in the middle of that fight with Dixon and Palou. Or not Palou. Dixon and Award, sorry. But yeah, so right now, again, I don't know about if I'm the 9, if I'm too happy with this 5, because, again, Pat O'Ward didn't get a penalty from race control last week for the incident. And I know ScottDixon was upset about that. And now he's gone and cut you off on pit road as you were coming out. If I'm any of these other guys, I don't want to be the innocent bystander in the middle of all this. But, yep, there we go. We're starting to see the Chevy dominance starting to take over the top of the board. 4 Penske Chevys in the top 5. And the other 2 are McLaren Chevys. So, a lot of Chevy power taking over that top 5, even the top 10. Although, the back half is a lot of Honda. The back half of the top 10, I mean. With Grosjean, Malukas, Palou, and Lundgaard. But here we go. Palou versus Pato. These 2 we've seen battle on track a lot, especially for the championship. I think it was not last year, but the 2021 championship we saw. Pato versus Palou was kind of the main feature battle for that championship in the NTT IndyCar series. So here we go. So Christian Lundgaard now on the back bumper of, I can't even tell who that is. Is that Dixon? Yeah, he's on the back bumper of, I think that's Dixon. Although that's that's a lot of blue. But yeah, Dixon's car is a lot more blue than I thought it was. It was close to 50-50 on the blue and orange. But here we go. Oh! Whoa! What? Lundgaard just went around the outside. That was a great pass. Lundgaard just kind of sold him a dummy, baited Dixon into going for the block to try and run one way, and then he dove back the other way and faked him out. Uh-oh. And we got no data. What happened to my internet? Uh-oh. And it's back. Okay. Not sure why my internet decided it wanted to die there momentarily, but yeah, sold him a dummy and was able to get the switch back. So he took the outside lane for half a corner, but then he ended up getting the inside lane for the very next corner, which he was able to, go ahead and get that one. So massive credit to Christian Lundgaard, who really, ever since he got that 45 car, it feels like he's underperformed compared to what the expectation has been. Now, maybe that was because expectations were set remarkably high for Christian Lundgaard after his amazing performance at the Indy RoadCourse back in 2020 or 2021, one of those years. He had a one-off race at the Indy RoadCourse and absolutely took off. So here we go. Let's see if... but yeah. Here we go. So we're over a third of the way through this race, and it has not been very long at all. We haven't even been alive an hour yet, and we are already over 30% of the way through this race. So it is flying. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If you guys are, leave a like on the stream. Subscribe if you guys are new. We're trying to get to 2,250 subscribers here throughout the month of May. I'd love to see if we could hit that goal. So 2,250 is kind of our subscriber goal for right now, the next big milestone to try and hit. Hopefully you guys are excited as well for the end of this race. Of course, we're still got a long way to go, and it's kind of, again, I feel like races are kind of defined by that first key yellow. Now, granted, there is no guarantee of a yellow in IndyCar, and so there is no guarantee. There's no stages. There's no points being awarded throughout the race. At least there's no stages, unlike in NASCAR where you have stages and at the ovals for NASCAR in particular, you have the stage breaks where there's 2 guaranteed yellows. You don't have that in IndyCar, so. And honestly, I think that's going to be a big factor here as we get towards the end of the race. And the fact that there is no guarantee that there's going to be a yellow. Especially the way that this race has been going, where it seems like it's a very somewhat tame, but in particular, it just seems like it's a very, it's kind of a very status quo race. You don't want to end up too far ahead or too, you're just kind of maintaining here. But yeah, so they're back from commercial break. Really looking forward to the Iowa doubleheader. I will probably live stream at least one of those 2 races. I don't know which one. It'll depend on which one doubles up with it, which one overlaps the NASCAR race, because I probably won't be able to do that one. But yeah, the Iowa races are always some of my favorites. I remember staying up till like 3 in the morning to watch that Iowa race back in, was that 2019 when there was a rain delayed race at Iowa that ended up going green at like 3 in the morning for Eastern Standard Time? Like, there was a really early morning race for the IndyCars at Iowa a couple years ago. I can't remember if that was 18 or 19. It was one of those 2 years. Yeah, no, it was 19, because I think 18 was the year that Hinchcliffe won under the yellow flag, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go. They're back from commercial break. So the top 3 on the 2-stopper strategy. So Romain Grosjean, Pato O'Ward, and Palou are your top 3 for that strategy. And JosefNewgarden pits. JosefNewgarden is on pit road yet again, so this must be pit stop number 2 for Newgarden. So here we go. So Newgarden pitting, that's going to shake this up once again here. So here we go. Let's see. So yeah. So Malukas is on the 3-stop strategy, maybe even a 4-stopper at this point. But yeah. So that battle, 7th, 8th, and 9th, is your battle for the lead amongst the 2-stoppers, though. And again, that, from what everything the TV commentators are saying, it sounds like that's been the typical strategy to win. I don't remember every Barber race, and I haven't been able to go back and watch a ton of films because I didn't even know I was broadcasting this one until this afternoon, or until about noon. So here we go. We got a lot of these drivers now. McLaughlin, Rossi, Power, and Rosenquist coming to pit road for their 2nd stop. Same with Malukas here. Malukas goes for pit road. So here we go. So yeah, now they're showing. So yeah, there's gotta be. I gotta be just behind here. Oh yeah, and we got a car stalled. So yeah, so I was behind on the stream, and yeah, we got StingRayRobb is stuck on the grass. That could be a yellow. I think a lot of people are gonna be rushing to pit. Question is, are they gonna let? Because I know there's been a thing in IndyCar that they've let the pit road stay open to try and let everybody pit on the green flag to try and avoid kind of shuffling the field because of who pits before a yellow. But again, I'm not the biggest fan because, again, if there's a car and you can avoid throwing the yellow, I don't really see a need to throw it. But yeah. Alright, so here we go. Yep, there we go. The yellow officially flies. So the yellow flag is officially flown. I don't know who all pit before it. I'm just kind of assuming that most everybody got to pit road before the one, but here we go. So yeah, there's the caution flag, and we kind of expected that there was going to be a caution at some point that was going to shake up the strategy, and here it is, just before we get to halfway. Trying to see if there's a tracker here for laps led, because the laps led is I think laps led is an extra point for the championship. Same with just leading a lap in general. So here we go. That will actually help the Penske Chevys, though, that were on that 3-stop strategy. They were essentially able to get a free pit stop. Now, granted, the people who were on the 2-stopper can also get that same pit stop advantage, but they were kind of planning on not having that, so the fact that they are kind of evening up on the strategy, it allows them to kind of reset. So Scott McLaughlin sounds like he's in the best position on the fuel numbers as they go to the commercial break here yet again. But yeah, under the yellow flag here, we can kind of finally take a step back and just kind of look at this race. I love seeing Romain Grosjean racing well here. Here we go. I'm gonna try and do something for the Indy 500, but I don't know what, because I'm planning on being in Charlotte for the 600 that night. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna try experimenting with the poll thing. We'll see what you guys think in terms of the 2 versus 3 stop strategy. Or we'll try. YouTube will actually let me put up the poll. All right, let's see. Ask a question. Which why did the thing change my honestly, I should just probably, there we go. Not sure why it cut to that. I wasn't doing anything that should have cut that. Oh, maybe it was a one of the letters I typed. Maybe it was a hotkey. All right, there we go. the 2 or 3 stopper strategy do we think is going to end up winning this one out? Did it? Oh, why did it go again? Oh, probably. I think Shift S changes my scene for some reason. So, yeah, I'll try and avoid typing too much until I can get that one changed over. But, so there we go. That should hopefully put up a poll. I don't say we'll have to wait and see, because again, this is the first time I've actually done a poll with my community here. So there we go. So we got the 2 stopper seems to be winning right now on the poll, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the bathroom and I will be back. Oh. There we go. We're back, and they already went green. So yeah, it looks like so far pretty much everybody's that's voted has said that the 2 stopper. Saying I think again consensus from the. But yeah, so the consensus though definitely seems to be that the 2 stopper is probably the best in terms of IndyCar history at this track. Hey JP, how's it going? Oh boy, the race is buffering, so I'm gonna have to try to get this back going. Let me see if I can try and get this going. Oh, my entire internet seems to be struggling a little bit, which is fantastic. Gotta love it when the internet starts to struggle. Alright, well, it's saying for whatever reason I can't join my internet on my phone. Hopefully, computer stays alright. But yeah, trying to get the coverage back so I can actually hear what's going on. And see what's going on, too. So here we go. Come on. I'm going to go see if I can reset my internet real quick because it seems to be being pretty slow. I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. I am surprised I haven't heard a single thing about push to pass, because that was such a talking point at the last street race at Long Beach that they did. But hopefully that reset my internet. Hopefully should help make this a little bit more stable, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, right now though, Grosjean leading over McLaughlin. Those two have already tangled once this season, so that's going to be a potential that could re-aggravate a rivalry. Oh, whoa! Someone's way off course there. Who is that? Elio Castroneves there in the number 60 car, or the 06 car. Sorry, for Meyer Shank Racing, went way off course. So here we go. Oh, Connor Daly goes way off track there. Yeah, does not help that the weather here is not great. But yeah. Again though, kind of quick rundown through your top 10. You got Grosjean, McLaughlin, Pato O'Ward holding on to that third spot, about 4 seconds back though. Curious to see Pato O'Ward potentially holding way back there comparatively. Then you've got Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou, JosefNewgarden, ScottDixon, WillPower, Rossi, and Rosenquist throughout the remainder of the field. Again, honestly, a really good mix of both Chevy, Honda, and 1 and 2 stopper strategies here. So here we go. They're doing that They're showing that commercial again about the Porsche 963. So here we go. I'd say should be a pretty good finish here to the race, though. Hopefully, you guys are excited for it. I know I am. Of course, leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new. I've been doing these types of race these kinds of race reviews throughout most of the year. But yeah, again, would have been doing the NASCAR one today again if we had had the race, but the race got rain delayed, and I won't be home tomorrow to do the Cup race at Dover, which is unfortunate. But yeah. Again, next week though, NASCAR heads to Kansas. I hope to be able to do both trucks and Cup that week. No Xfinity Series race though. But yep, so we have officially we've gotten past that halfway point. We are now at 40 laps remaining in this IndyCar series race here at the Barber Motorsports Park. So here we go. I'm back to my stream board there because I lost it for a moment. But here we go. Hopefully they should be back from commercial here any moment. But yeah, these front two though, Grosjean and McLaughlin have absolutely gapped the field. Now again, I question if that is a fuel saving move from Pato O'Ward and the rest, or if that is just a pure pace that they just don't have and the others do. Because again, 5 seconds between McLaughlin in second and Pato O'Ward in third is impressive for any series. But yeah. So they're doing their IndyCar through the field here. So here we go. I will say, Romain Grosjean is looking impressive today. It's hard to keep remembering that that's him because he's not in the normal DHL colors that I kind of got used to seeing him in last season. Let's say Scott McLaughlin probably going to be looking to try and have a good finish to try and vault himself close to that points battle as we go into Indianapolis, although I think for anybody driving for Roger Penske, the goal in Indianapolis is winning the 500, not points necessarily. So, yeah, for that entire month, they get to ignore points, basically, and focus on winning. Maybe don't lose points at the Indy GP if you can avoid it, but. Alright, so here we go. So yeah, I think everybody's trying to get to, I think it's like 33 to go, so everybody's trying to get to about 66 laps completed here. If you can get to that point, I think you can make it on fuel and tires if you take blacks. You might need to go a little further if you're going to take the alternate softer tire. But again, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah. So here we go. Trying to see where everybody's at here. Sorry about the bit of silence there. But yeah, this is really right now. Again, it's kind of the question mark is what is causing this 7 second gap between Pato and Scott McLaughlin, because that is a massive gap here. Now again, you might see some of these the 3 stoppers are going to be trying to make an extra pit stop in here somewhere. Trying to cut down on as many tabs as I can. Alright, here we go. We got this somewhat stabilized now. I'm trying to reduce the amount that I'm asking my computer to do on the internet, but again, it just seems to be buffering a little bit on my end. I don't know about on your guys' end, but here we go. Oh man, here we go. Oh, and here we go. That battle for the lead. Scott McLaughlin's starting to close in, and they're going to commercial break. Are you kidding me? We finally start to close in, and we get a commercial break. So here we go. They're talking about the Kentucky Derby coming up next week. So that's going to be exciting for any of you guys who like horse racing, apparently. But yeah, not exactly the kind of racing I like. I like seeing multiple horsepower, not singular horsepower. But yeah. That's one series, though, that will not change their horsepower limit. It is 1 horsepower per horse. Probably. And my internet's going down again. I'll be right back again. Apparently, I need to keep resetting this thing every like 10 minutes for whatever reason. Alright, there we go. Hit the reset, and hopefully we should be good to go. Hopefully the end of the race, I'd like to imagine, but at least we should get to this pit window for the people doing a one-stop strategy here. You know, we're still waiting to see some pit stops here. Now, Scott McLaughlin was the last one to... We had a lot of late pit stops there. So the lap 38 set of pit stops is the last set we've seen. And actually, Romain Grosjean, a lot of those guys, I didn't realize that they didn't pit under the yellow. But, yeah. So, interesting day so far, though, there. Hopefully you guys are having as much fun watching this race as I am. I'm honestly really enjoying this one. Here we go. But yeah, say Lundgaard leading that team. That's something they've been wanting to see for a while, but they just haven't had. Like their team lead at that team has been Graham Rahal, literally pretty much since the team's inception. And we're just kind of waiting to see it here. Waiting to start seeing some of those pit stops. Oh, sounds like JosefNewgarden's tires are starting to fade on him. So JosefNewgarden in 6th place is hanging on with apparently I don't know if it's his tires or because they're talking about it being something more terminal than that, potentially a problem with the car itself. I didn't necessarily anticipate that. But yeah, I can't seem to figure out where anyone is in terms of push to pass, or if they turned it off for this race, although that would seem weird because they, again, focused on it so much last week. Or not last week, but the last time they were racing at Long Beach. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Grosjean, Pato Award, Lundgaard, Pagenaud, and others coming to pit road. Colton Herta on pit road as well. So a lot of pit stops. A lot of pit stops happening here in the IndyCar Series race. So Herta away with a 7.6 second pit stop there. Nice short pit stop there. Got 4 tires and fuel. So again, this battle for the lead is going to be the question: is how far does Grosjean fall, and what can he do to try and claw back? Because again, McLaughlin is planning on 1 stop here. From this point, he's looking at 1 stop. Now, I think a lot of these guys are also thinking making it to the end of the race because again, you're within your fuel window. You can make it. Or you're a little on the outside of your fuel window here to make it 30 something laps. But yeah. So there we go. That's Award as well. Yep, VK Pagenaud, Lundgaard. So yeah, again, a lot of pit stops there. Just happens. And now McLaughlin is going to try and absolutely blaze the trail here. Because again, he's planning on an extra pit stop, and he can run well into the window to make it to the end of the race here. And Newgarden is getting absolutely hounded from behind, and he is starting to stack up a ton of cars right behind him, which is not going to be comfortable for him. There we go. Dixon finally gets by Newgarden, and then so does Power, and now Rossi, and now Rosenquist. So there we go. A lot of spots lost there from McLaughlin or for Newgarden, I mean, not McLaughlin. Not exactly the best of times for Newgarden there. Then you got Alex Palou and ScottDixon both coming in for service here. I believe they were both on the stop on that same strategy there. Then you got Kyle Kirkwood coming in for his pit stop. He's getting, again, 4 tires and fuel. Basically just the same story for a lot of these multi-tire guys. Or multi-stop guys that were making the same stop. But, yeah, here we go. So a 27-second loss in terms of when you pit. So again, it sounds like McLaughlin needs to try and maintain a 27-second lead because he's going to need to make the extra stop. So you don't want to end up making... Oh, and McLaughlin is on pit road. Scott McLaughlin has come to pit road. So same with JosefNewgarden here, and Marcus Ericsson coming to pit road as well. A lot of pit stops here. So here we go. So Romain Grosjean versus McLaughlin. We're going to wait and see the blend because, again, this should be the pit stop that gets McLaughlin to the end of the race. We don't... As I say, McLaughlin wanted to blaze it for another couple laps, but I think they needed to make the pit stop here to try and cover off the potential strategy for the others. Here we go. McLaughlin holds the lead over Grosjean. So Scott McLaughlin able to get on the McLaughlin able to get the lead here on Grosjean in terms of the drivers who have made it their last stop here. Again, though, Grosjean right there, and he is going to hound McLaughlin and try and hope for a mistake here. Might even try and force a mistake. We've seen these two make contact already a couple times this season, apparently. Oh, a big wiggle there for McLaughlin. Oh, and Grosjean makes a big lift going around the outside here. Grosjean gets alongside wheel to wheel, and Grosjean powers past. But, yeah, here we go. Man, that was an amazing move. So, McLaughlin ends up getting passed there by Grosjean, and Grosjean starting to power away. Speaking of power, WillPower has the race lead here still, technically, over Felix Rosenqvist. But, again, those two we don't anticipate can make it on fuel to the end of this to the end of the race here. So, again, we're going to have to wait and see, but I don't think they can make it here to the end of this race on their current fuel and tires. So, we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think so. And there we go, WillPower comes to pit road. And so does Felix Rosenqvist. So, this will hand the actual race lead over to the battle we were just following with that amazing pass from Grosjean on McLaughlin. And Graham Rahal coming to pit road as well. So there we go. And, they're showing another replay of that amazing pass there. Oh, they're doing a flashback. Okay, they're doing the flashback back to St. Petersburg where McLaughlin and Grosjean got into each other and ended up taking themselves out the race early on. And yeah, it took Grosjean out. I don't know if McLaughlin got a significant bit of damage there too. But man, yeah, Grosjean was not happy about that one. But here we go. So everybody's done their pit stops here. They've made all their required pit stops. And Grosjean's starting to try and gap the the three of McLaughlin here. So here we go. Power's going to try and race his way back up there. You got two McLarens there up in that top five. Oh, nope. And Felix dropped a spot to Alex Palou there, and now he's dropping more spots. So I guess he was still on pit road, or something happened to Rosenquist potentially. We'll have to wait and see when the actual TV, because I think I'm a little bit behind where I am on the leaderboard versus where I am on the actual race coverage I'm watching. So two Marcuses driving for Chip Ganassi Racing right now, battling for 10th and 11th, and they cut to commercial. Yay. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happened to Rosenquist. But he lost spots to Palou, Lundgaard, Dixon, and Rossi as he settles into 9th place here. Behind the two, or in front of the two Marcuses there. But yeah, right now though, Romain Grosjean looks to have about a 1 second lead. Again, we'll have to wait and see how that manages and how he manages the remainder of this race here. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one though. Hopefully you guys are excited. And again, we're on that road to 2250 on the subscriber count. Of course, love it if you guys would join us on this journey. But yeah, we've been covering almost every NASCAR, actually every NASCAR Cup race. I have not missed a Cup race yet. Tomorrow will be the first Cup race I will have missed in terms of broadcasting. And I might try and do some kind of coverage. We'll see what kind of break I get at work. But again, I won't be able to do much, so just expect a post-race review instead, because, again, I won't have already talked about my thoughts on the race a lot. Because that's one of the hard things about trying to do a race review after I've already done a live stream where I talked a lot about my thoughts, is trying not to be too repetitive. But yeah, so we'll see about that, and then we'll move on from there. Then we've got then we go to Kansas next week for NASCAR, and I'll be doing both trucks and Cup that weekend. Don't know if IndyCar is racing next week. We'll have to wait and see. I haven't checked their schedule and see because if it's a Saturday early afternoon race, because trucks don't race till Saturday night, we might be okay. I might be able to do another IndyCar stream next week. But again, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, on that one. Of course, let me know if you guys would like to see some more IndyCar coverage here on the channel as they come back to from the commercial break. And it is still close, though. McLaughlin has kept it close here between himself and Grosjean. But what is McLaughlin willing to do to Grosjean to try and win a race here? Versus what is Grosjean willing to do to try and hold off McLaughlin from winning this race? Because it is going to be really tough. Oh! Now they finally talk about the push to pass, and Grosjean has none. So Grosjean cannot, has no push to pass to defend against McLaughlin. Now McLaughlin has more fuel on board, which, again, the push to pass button does burn more fuel than the normal, which makes sense because you're turning up the wick and trying to drive faster. But McLaughlin has more fuel on board. He can afford to use those 32 seconds that he does have to try and use them to pass McLaughlin here. So again, it's weird. It's going to be interesting because, again, Grosjean cannot defend from the push to pass right now. Now, push to pass does not guarantee a pass. You can be fast, but it doesn't necessarily mean you get around him. Yeah, McLaughlin's asking the same question I just kind of posed, is how do you defend without the push to pass? It is going to be tough. You need to know, as I say, McLaughlin needs to make sure that, or he needs to try and hope that Romain Grosjean does not know when he's going to be going for his move. Because again, that will be a key here to trying to win this race. Is McLaughlin getting a jump and a surprise move here on Grosjean? Grosjean, he needs to be able to anticipate McLaughlin's every pass attempt, because he will need to be able to block a lot in order to really be able to contend for this race win here today. Because again, he has no push pass to counter, 32 seconds. Now that's not a lot. And again, McLaughlin's going to have to be very careful with when he chooses to activate it. But, yep. So, here we go. So, Grosjean was better on the... Grosjean was better on the in and out laps. And oh, here we go! McLaughlin alongside him! McLaughlin gets alongside and he just soars to the lead here for McLaughlin. And now Grosjean, he's got no push to pass, and he is now in second place. He's going to have a little bit of dirty air. Maybe we see him try and make a move, but it will be tough here. So that's a 3-stop strategy for the number 3 that takes the lead. So here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. So yeah, Grosjean, again, out of push to pass, so he won't have that tool to try and make anything happen. And yeah, he just ran wide and it allowed McLaughlin to get back by. So here we go. McLaughlin, again, it's going to be tough to try and... it's going to be tough for it's going to be tough for Romain to get back by McLaughlin here. Because, again, McLaughlin, he is going to absolutely try and drive away and gap him. And, yeah, he has done just that. I think he might have even used some push to pass to just try and open up this gap even wider. Now, if we see a yellow here, that could change things. We still have quite a few laps. We got about 18 to go here. So, still plenty of time. But again, that it's going to be hard without a yellow for Grosjean to try and keep up. Because, again, McLaughlin knows his only goal is to try and gap Romain. Alright, so Grosjean is having to save fuel as well to make it to the end, so he might not even have enough, he's having to question if he has enough fuel to make it, so he really can't compete with, he can't even try and run back down McLaughlin on speed here, so he's going to have to luck into a yellow here to try and get it. And also, he's going to have to try and hold off Hard Charge and WillPower here soon. And I'd say it's a long gap between Power and Grosjean, but again, a lot of laps. So our 4th different winner in 4 weeks. That could be interesting. So here we go. WillPower is absolutely flying comparatively to Grosjean's lap. So again, it's going to be closing here. Question is whether they will get there and whether he will get past him before the end of this race. Marcus Armstrong is the most passing in the field right now. Or at least he's moved up the most spots from where he started. But here we go. It's this race, it's building up, but I think again, unless if we haven't seen the last yellow, this is gonna get interesting. If we go green to the finish, I think McLaughlin, I don't see really much way he fails to win this race, because with the gap he has now, he can worry about saving fuel and just kind of coast and try and manage this one. But power is gaining on Roman, and that is going to be a fight for second place there to try and get that spot. And I think Roger Penske would love to go 1-2 in the 1 and 2 in the race. Welcome everybody, by the way, that's just tuned in. If you guys are just tuning in, we are covering here the final 15 laps here of the NTT IndyCar Series race from the Barber Motorsportspark. Scott McLaughlin just recently took the lead from Romain Grosjean for the race lead. He now has about a 1.7 second lead there. Then Roman has about a 7-second gap right now to WillPower, but it is fading fast as Roman is he is low on fuel and needing to save to make it the remaining 14 laps of this race. WillPower, he has lots of fuel and can run aggressive here. It's going to be a fight to see who can get that second spot. Then again, and without a yellow, I don't see a way that that anyone from further back than about third could even hope to try and fight for this win today. It's gonna be a tough one. But here we go. How's everybody's race going? My early race pick, I guess. I can't say pre-race because I technically didn't make it before the green flag flew, but Pato O'Ward running fourth. Again, if we get a yellow, I think Pato could absolutely challenge for this race win. I don't know if I see a yellow happening. Although, whoa, with this fight between is that Marcus Armstrong or is that his teammate Agustin Canapino? I think that was Agustin Canapino there, who was absolutely pinballing it around there, which was absolutely nuts to see. Some more side-by-side there between what looks like Rosenquist and Dixon, or maybe Rossi and Dixon. Hard to tell those McLaren cars apart sometimes. And they're going to commercial break here as we continue working our way through here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this one. But, yeah. So they go to commercial break. But, yeah, Marcus Armstrong, part-time effort for Chip Ganassi. He's currently running up in the 11th spot. He is trying to make his name, and honestly, I think he's trying to justify getting that ride full-time potentially next year. Because, again, I think he thinks, and I think the team, honestly, is considering that he may be ready. The big question is going to be that oval talent and the willingness to potentially run ovals, because these IndyCar ovals are not very gentle, especially on a young driver. He may decide that he doesn't want to run the ovals. But as far as I know, the only reason he's not in the ovals this year, besides the fact that Takuma is very good on the ovals, is the fact that I don't think he had the funding to go and run the ovals. And Takuma Sato brings a ton of funding from Honda Corporate because Honda Corporate loves him. Which, to be fair, he is a Japanese driver for Honda. But, yeah, he brings in free engine lease, as well as I think it's $1 million in sponsorship from Honda Corporate, not to mention other outside partners that are Takuma Sato loyals. But here we go. Of course, leave a like if you guys are enjoying the race so far, and if you guys would like to see me cover some more IndyCar in the future. But, of course, we're still working our way through this commercial break. I haven't seen any major shakeups on the leaderboard. But WillPower has shrunk the gap. He is within 3 seconds. He looks to be within 2 seconds now of Romain Grosjean. So they are closing it in very quickly here. So this is a very close fight here. Again, WillPower is going to get to Romain. The question is whether Romain will end up giving up the spot to the driver of the number 12 Penske Chevy. I was gonna say Penske Ford, but then I remembered nope, Ford isn't in this series. That's the NASCAR stuff, where Penske is Ford. So they're back from commercial break, and we are the Indy Grand Prix is on the 13th. So in 2 weeks, so they have a week off, and then they go run the Indianapolis Grand Prix on the road course. So we'll see again about potentially streaming that. It'll depend. I think it'll depend on like what the NASCAR race is on that overlap. But yeah, I hope I'll be able to cover that. Got some stuff I'm working on for the All-Star race as well as for the month of May in general. And I guess I'll mention this now. I am going to be doing a kind of a 1v1 tournament bracket series using the 16 playoff drivers currently as of today. So the Dover race will not impact who makes the bracket. The bracket itself will be unveiled tomorrow along with hopefully the matchups. Hoping that sometime early next week I'll be able to start putting out the some of the actual races, but looking forward to having that over the next couple of weeks to try and build up some entertainment and some stuff to hopefully show some highlights while we wait for the All-Star race, because that All-Star race is going to be a fun one, but there's a long break in between the Open and the main event. But yeah, back to this race though. Romain Grosjean, he is actually staying within. He can still see the lead there, but again, he doesn't have the fuel and he doesn't have push to pass to he doesn't have push to pass and he doesn't have the fuel even if he had push to pass to really use anything. And it's going to be more about defending from Power here. Now, whether Power can catch McLaughlin will depend on if he gets by Grosjean quick. Because again, I think Power has looked better than Grosjean by a lot, and potentially even he's been maybe a little bit better than McLaughlin, although I think McLaughlin to an extent is just kind of managing the pace right now. Because he doesn't need to win this race by 10 seconds. He just needs to win it by essentially a fender, but obviously you'd like to win it by a car length or two, maybe even a second would be comfortable, but yeah. The points as they run, though, is going to be interesting to look at. Or the points after this race is going to be interesting. Although you really don't start looking at the IndyCar battle for the championship. I think most people start looking at that after we get through Indianapolis, which is fair. I think Indianapolis, it's such a big event that you really can't focus on it as a championship. Like, you can't focus on points during that because of just how big the event itself is. So, there we go. So, McLaughlin's saying he doesn't know if he's got enough to win this thing. That might be interesting. But, again, Grosjean is pretty close to being caught by WillPower. But, again, Power is going to have to find a way around him, which is easier said than done here. So here we go. Oh, the three-stopper has never won one? I know that they were saying that the consensus was that the number two stop, or that the two-stopper was usually pretty good. But I thought a three-stopper had to have won a race at this track at some point in its 12-year history. It has the three-stopper has never won a race in 12 years? That is impressive for a two-stop strategy to be that overpowering. So Marcus Ericsson is currently the points leader if they were to finish exactly as they're running right now over Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou. McLaughlin would be 4th in points, and Romain Grosjean would be 5th in points. So that's some interesting drivers there at the top of the point sheet, though. Curious to see it. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd be curious to see if this ends up being a storyline coming to the end of the season. Seeing all those drivers, in particular, a lot of young guys there. Pato, Palou, Ericsson isn't. I think he's kind of the oldest of that group. Maybe Grosjean's a little older, and then McLaughlin, I believe, is pretty young from what I know. Yeah, I don't know exact ages on them, but yeah, I think that Grosjean and Ericsson might be a little older because of their Formula One history that they each have, versus the other ones who kind of just made it up to IndyCar. McLaughlin did a lot of V8 supercars as well. But here we go. Say WillPower, he's within 1 second now, so he's within striking distance. If he tries to just drive it in deep and basically just punt the 28 of Grosjean, he might be within striking distance to try that. Obviously, I wouldn't want to see him just punt Grosjean, but again, he's close. He's within striking distance here. As we have 6 laps to go here, I don't see us having another yellow, although, again, we could very easily have a surprise pop up here at the end. But it would be hard to see. So here we go. It's going to be a 3-point battle for the championship if they finish as this is right now, between Pato O'Ward and Ericsson. Hard to imagine what O'Ward would have had for a championship lead potentially if he had won that first race over Ericsson, but he had some sort of Pelham issue, I think is what they called it, after the race. Essentially, it looked like he just put the pit lane limiter on accidentally while leading the race, while turning through the corners. And it ultimately cost him the race win at St. Pete a couple weeks ago. But yeah. So right now we got 5 laps to go, and Power is just stalking Romain Grosjean right now. He can't catch his teammate on pace at this point, but I think with 5 laps to go, I think he very much could get by Romain Grosjean here for second. Question is, does Power care about second place finishes, or does he just care about getting the wins? Because those wins are very important. Oh man, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, here we go. This race, again, it's been pretty quick. We're not even at 2 full hours yet, and we're closing in on the very end of this race. Only 1 yellow, which again, and it honestly, I'm kind of curious to see if this race would have gone green flag the entire way if it weren't for that 1 yellow for the car stopped on the grass. StingRayRobb, that was. So, yeah, the fact that there's only been the 1 caution, I would love to have seen what this race would have looked like as a caution-free race, but ultimately it looks like McLaughlin is going to be able to ease his way to a victory, because I think at this point, even if the caution flag were to fly, I think they would run out of laps trying to get it back green. Now, maybe you could see them red flag the race to try and get a manufacturer a green flag finish, but I think even that would be a little tough at this point. So, again, I think it's going to be between Grosjean and Power for the entertainment value here as we come down the final stretch of this race. Pato O'Ward 20 seconds back. Him and Palou are kind of racing it out about 1 second apart, but again, those two, I think they're going to play nice because both of them don't want to end up costing each other points in the championship because they're both very high up there. They're both, I think, second and third in the championship right now as it runs, and the more aggressive the two of them race each other, the more likely they both ruin it for themselves and each other. So I don't see Award and Palou really fighting for spots. So here we go. 2 laps remaining here. So we got 2 laps to go for Scott McLaughlin to win this race, and more important, well, not more importantly, but the more exciting thing, Power has 2 laps remaining to try and catch and pass Romain Grosjean here. This is going to be an interesting fight to see. All right, here we go. Going through a nice slow corner there. Again, I want to see what Power is willing to do to try and catch him here. We got a lot of people tuning in here as we're getting ready for the finish of this race. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this one. Of course, if you guys are just tuning in now, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss when I go live next time. But yeah, I'll be live again next week. Probably, I think, both trucks and Cup. There's no Xfinity and no IndyCar next week. So yeah, it'll probably be just those 2 streams next week. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Of course, here we go. It's going to be Power. And here we go. We're seeing the white flag. Scott McLaughlin takes the white flag. But Power right on the back of Grosjean here, though. They're showing McLaughlin, and all credit to him. He is going to win this race, and it is very well deserved for Scott McLaughlin. He has driven for this win, and he very well should be congratulated as this race winner, no matter what happens. I mean, something fluky could happen, like blowing an engine, but again, that would be unheard of, almost. But again, he has driven the best race, no doubt. WillPower, he's starting to lose it. He might not have the power to end up catching Romain Grosjean here at the end. He may end up coming up second place, or he may end up coming up third here to Romain Grosjean and Scott McLaughlin here. But here we go. So Scott McLaughlin makes it 4 different winners in 4 weeks. That's going to be a fun storyline. See if they can keep that up throughout the remainder of it. But Scott McLaughlin wins it. Romain Grosjean holds on for second. Third, WillPower. Waiting for 4th place across the line. We're expecting it will be Pato Award here. We'll have to wait and see. So that 3-stopper wins the race. So for the first time in their history. But yep, so Pato Award holds off Alex Palou. Then you have Christian Lundgaard, ScottDixon, AlexanderRossi, Felix Rosenqvist, and Marcus Ericsson rounding out your top 10. 11th was Marcus Armstrong. 12th was Callum Ilott, or 12th was Kyle Kirkwood. 13th was Callum Ilott. 14th, Colton Herta. And rounding out your top 15 is JosefNewgarden. Now rounding out your the remainder of the field, you have Rinus VeeKay, Graham Rahal, SimonPagenaud, David Malukas, Santino Ferrucci, your top 20. Then you had Elio, Benjamin Peterson, Delvin D. Francesco, Jack Harvey, and Connor Daly rounding out the top 25, and then Augustine Canapino and StingRayRobb bringing up the tail end of the field. So, yeah, that was a pretty good run of racing here to the end. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, of course, leave a like on the stream. If you guys are watching this after the fact, of course, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new. Ring the bell so you guys don't miss another live stream. But until next time, this has been Ryan Dyer on YouTube. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next video, live stream, whatever you guys had to do with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody, and goodbye!